We are the Derpy Goats. Welcome to our show.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another derptastic episode of Derpy Goats Gaming.
I'm Hubby Goat.
And I'm Wifey Goat.
And together we're the Derpy Goats. It's
right.
special poem time.
In Doki Doki Literature Club. Let's read it. Let's check it out. Really nervous about this, you guys. Am I supposed to be able to do something?
N-O-T-H.
Nothing is real.
Question mark.
Okay.
What a lovely poem.
Alright, nothing is real, you guys. Does this sound different? Or is it the same?
Nah, I think it's the same.
Alright. Okay, so we've only got two options this time, so
okay, well,
we're still going with Yuri, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Then I think we've seen most of these words before, so we'll just run through real quick and get this sorted. So tenacious.
Sure.
Electricity. Incongruent. Disown. Afterimage. Misfortune. Sensation. Intellectual. Starscape. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm just like, let's do it.
Yeah. Vitality was her last time.
I wonder if, like, I don't know.
I'm not seeing any of the words that are like eternal or infinite or anything pop up now for her. Like, or just in general, period.
I don't know. I was just wondering if, like, some of the words got, like, taken. I mean, I guess
that's what I'm saying. Well, there's infinite right there.
I don't know. I just wonder if, like, if they changed.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Well, it would have had to, right? Because, like, you're not, like, you don't have the third option anymore, so, like, they would have just put,
so I meant, like, did they, like, did who the words affect change a little bit?
Yeah.
To absorb.
Yeah.
Sayori's words. I don't know.
Yeah. Hi again, Senpai. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Not like you have a choice.
Yeah.
Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. Oh, it's the last one to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out.
Thanks for... Thanks for keeping your promise.
I guess she's next, because, like, she's the one that's been having issues.
Glitching way bad.
Yeah.
I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it.
Well, I said that, and then Natsuki.
Oh, come on. Like, he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it.
Natsuki certainly does...
Why is she in front this time?
I don't know. I'm assuming that's just something part of the thing.
Well, yeah, no, I know, but, like, what's the significance of that?
I don't know. Natsuki certainly something big mouth for someone with a manga collection. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that Monica that's supposed to be reading that? I couldn't tell because, like,
yeah, I don't.
She was in front, so
it was, but manga is literature.
Swiftly defeated, Natsuki pops back into her seat.
I'm sorry, Senpai. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay?
Oh, God. Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance.
Yeah. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read.
Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that, if you ask.
Wait, I didn't mean it like that. Ugh. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess.
No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to.
Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like.
Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book.
I didn't want you to feel left out. So I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it, if you wanted.
How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book.
Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think.
Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. Can't help but notice her intense expression like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. Catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and our eyes meet for a split second. Robot face, but that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I muttered this, sensing I had made her uncomfortable.
Oh. It's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so...
That's the book that you gave me, right?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason.
Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book?
Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them.
Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon.
I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story.
Is that so? What's the story about anyway? It's like Doki Doki Literature Club, like that's the book.
Yeah.
I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. Okay, so never mind. There's an ominous looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically,
it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison, and the people trapped there have this trait that turns into killing machines that lust for blood. This is different, right?
I was wondering.
But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway...
Yeah, it was about some, like, girl last time.
Yeah. I'm really into it. The book, I mean. Not the thing about the limbs.
That's kind of... It's kind of dark, isn't it? You made it sound like this could be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere.
Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Senpai?
Are you not kinky enough for me, Senpai?
Yeah.
No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry.
I hope so.
Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different.
It's just that this kind of story, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway.
Okay.
Jeez, why? Then suddenly... By the way, I did not click to go off of suddenly. It did that itself.
Didn't? No.
It did that by itself.
Okay.
I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Despite hearing a demon voice for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, like, we should have, like... I don't know, we should make that voice, like, sound evil.
Yeah.
Demonic. Well, I guess it's alright then.
I guess I can take over that one.
But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem when I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts. Again, I didn't...
My whole body gets incredibly...
I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much.
You know, like, my favorite drink is human blood.
I don't know what's happening. I'm so confused.
That's I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club, after all.
That's true.
In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right?
That was great. Yes.
Wonderful.
I mean, you don't have to, but...
What are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's.
Yeah.
Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive.
I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone.
I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything.
Alright.
I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulders as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead.
Sorry. I was
just
bathing in the feeling of your body heat, is what that said.
I was just bathing in the feeling of your body heat.
I don't know what's happening.
Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you?
I do. I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean...
Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's and hold my book more between the two of them.
I suppose so.
Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page.
Here.
I wonder if anything creepy is going to happen on like one of these screens.
I don't know.
Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision.
Are you ready? To turn the page.
Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. Don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me.
Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not.
That face.
Yeah.
Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses... I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that.
That's what you were talking about. Sorry. Oh, wait. So how does she... that was a really uncomfortable, no, I don't relate to this character. What's wrong with the character that she's like, no, wait, no. Oh, that's what you were talking about. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Something's off here.
Yeah.
I thought you meant something else about her.
Something else?
Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came into my head.
Yuri, are you feeling alright?
Eh?
Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little...
My breathing?
Yuri puts her hands on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat.
I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water.
Alright, don't push yourself. Assuming she's dealing with, like, injuries or something she has given herself. I'm not sure, though. I don't
know. Like, I don't know how to read that, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Senpai? Did something happen just now? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything. Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, Lord. People acting strange and being worried about them is like what started things last time, so...
Yeah.
Oh, no, not really. I just care about you. I was making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Haha, don't worry. I believe you, silly. I know everything.
Yeah.
Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I figured we'd just get started without the vice president of the club.
Yeah, like...
Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. Make a mental note of where I left off in the book and slip it back in my bag.
Okay. Go to Natsuki.
Yeah.
Monica makes me uncomfortable.
Yep. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first.
Senpai, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home.
What? Harsh.
What, do you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid?
I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about, bitch.
Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again.
Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess.
Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you'll probably think it's stupid. Okay, it's the same poem. So,
Okay.
you know. Monkeys, crickets, horses, owls, cheetahs, eagles, people.
That's about it.
Yeah. Told you that you weren't gonna like it.
I like it.
What? Just be honest.
I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it?
Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously.
But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid.
Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it.
Yeah, I understand.
But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like, I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line.
So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized.
That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you?
Yeah, guess not. Decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki's feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her.
Alright.
I guess Monika's next. Hey, Senpai. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities, or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Hey, I've got to maybe not kill people off.
Yeah.
Like, that would be
that's
a nice
one.
start. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind.
What things are we bringing up?
Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up.
Like my dick? What?
I ain't afraid to bring that up. Much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, Want to share your poem with me?
Not really.
Kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, senpai. No one loves you like I love you. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. You know, 'cause we'll all be dead. I hand Monica my poem.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Great job, senpai. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked. Sorry. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Do you like her or something? I'm gonna have to kill her. I want you, senpai. Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing, though. But sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. Are we going to kill her with kindness?
I don't know. I'm kind of nervous. This is like different.
I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. What the f... She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming out a little strongly. Like earlier. I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly, the door opens. Yuri!
I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other.
Already? I'm sorry for being late.
No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed.
Alright.
Yeah, she
Thanks,
went to go
Monica.
cut herself, I'm sure.
I suppose I should go get my poem now.
Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Wonder if it's going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? You know, like when I kill people because of my lack of confidence. I see. Well, let's read it then. This is the same. Pretty sure.
No.
No, it's not.
Not even a little bit.
My bad.
No, it's the same title.
I was gonna say. Hole in wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings. But my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling plays tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. Haha, it's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes, when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. For some reason that makes me feel like she's saying like if you stay too fixated on one girl for too long, like something bad's gonna happen.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Something bad's gonna happen regardless, so...
Yeah, a big dark puddle of ink.
Blood.
As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
Exceptional.
What was that?
Did I say that out loud?
Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face.
He's going to hate me.
You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri.
I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for?
Yuri takes a breath.
So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before.
Really? Wow, it's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really.
Huh?
Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again.
Well, I know that. I just meant,
Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly.
Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both style and the expressiveness are weakened.
Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert.
Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though.
Biased? How?
Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now?
Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it.
Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club?
It's supposed to be.
Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. Yeah, this is the same poem.
Yeah, it's the same. Alright. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting.
What? I wasn't thinking that at all.
Sorry. But it took you a long time to read.
Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty.
Oh?
Like you, what?
That's a relief. Aw.
Also, I liked the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive.
It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems.
You really should stop beating yourself up for...
Oh my god.
Not at all.
I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose.
Are you into ghosts, Yuri?
Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Senpai.
Really? I must have totally missed the point.
Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot. Sorry.
That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive.
It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive, too, so...
Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Senpai.
Me too. Phew. Alright, well, with that exasperated sigh of relief, I think we actually, on another one of our videos, stopped. Oh no.
Oh, that's different. Ooh, that music.
Uh-huh.
That's normal.
Uh-huh.
Wait, we gotta, like, listen.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, we heard a, like, distorted portion of the song.
I wonder if that was the only...
Maybe, I don't know.
Because everything else sounds normal.
Yeah. Well, anyway, like I was saying, I feel like we left off at the phew in another video, but
Probably.
I'm unsure. So
But
you
since we're
guys can
basically
check
repeating,
that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like this is a good place for us to leave you guys for this episode, and we will see you next time. This has been Hubby Gut and Wifey Gut, and we're signing off.
Bye.
It was like...